Morning guys, Brad and Mandy here, breaking daylight at home, about to head off on our next adventure, going west again, heading out towards Warwick this time. We'll hope you come along for the ride and we'll show you around once we get out there. Just doing the final few checks here, do a quick walk around, make sure the trailers, the caravan's all good, the utes all connected. Lights are working, tyres are up, yeah, kayaks are strapped on. Looks like it's time to hit the road. Anyway, give you an update as we're travelling and we'll see you out there. So this place we're heading to is a HIPCAMP, Condamine River Caravan and Camping it's called. Pretty sure it used to be listed as Warrego Farm or Warrego Farm Stay. I think it is still on Google Maps, and HIPCAMP's listed as Warrego Farm. For anybody that hasn't camped on HIPCAMP properties before or used the app, the process is usually once you get to the property you go and meet and greet with the owner. They'll send you out the directions of how to get to the property or any instructions whether you need to meet and greet, or you go straight to your site and set up. But personally, I do like to meet the owners before we just go and set up on their property. It is their place after all, so you want to make sure you're doing the right thing, you're camping in the right spot. But out of this property, it was great. Very nice people. They take you down to the campsite and show you how to get in there. Especially at this property, there is a few gates to get through to get down to the river and where the campsites are. They're super helpful and super friendly. Take you right down there, give you any other instructions you need. Which out on this place, being black soil country, just east of Warwick, you need to be careful with the weather out there. Was storms forecast for the next couple of days, so you don't want to get stuck in there, especially with a rising river or wet black soil and you can't get out of there. If you did need to evacuate for some reason and conditions got that bad, you just need to be mindful of that. But HIPCAMP, most owners we've come across, with the few that we've stayed at, they're always super friendly and helpful and more than welcoming once you arrive at their property. Generally, we like our HIPCAMPs because you can hit that open space. You see we're 100 metres away from the nearest camp there and nobody on the other side of us for at least 200 or 300 metres. Guys, made it out here, Warrego Farm out near Warwick. It's only 7 k's the eastern side of Warwick. Condamine River Caravan and Camping, I think it's called, on HIPCAMP. So far so good. It looks like a nice little spot. Nice camping down on the river. Spin around and show you what's the river's actually like here. Now only a week ago they had 100 mil of rain up in the headwaters, the Condamine Gorge over Killarney Way. 100 mil has all come down through this river in the last week, and only 3 or 4 days ago this was all underwater, all up through where the other campers are down there. It was all in flood. So it looks like it's settled down a bit now. The owner manager was just saying that its water levels been dropping about 1/2 metre a day, and the flow's dying down, so it should be alright for a bit of fishing and catching a few yabbies, hopefully, a bit of kayaking. And otherwise we'll be sitting around here, get the fire going once we finish unpacking everything. A little bit cloudy and a little bit windy today, and forecast of storms for tomorrow, but we'll see how that all goes. be safe and sound in the caravan. As long as we don't cop 100 mil of rain up the river. We don't need all that coming back down through here where we are. Anyway, we'll finish setting up and get the kayaks in the water and get some yabby pots in and open a can of corn, maybe even a can of beer. And see if we can catch a few carp. There's plenty of yellow belly in here apparently, which sounds very promising. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we can catch a fish this time. Caught heaps at Christmas time out in the Condamine River further west of here. But, need to catch some yellow belly this time around. Go and see if we can catch us a feed of yabbies or a couple of shrimps for bait. No worms at this stage. Till we get into Warwick, go and find some worms. First we've got to get in here without falling in. It's very wet and muddy after the floods. That was the easy bit. No laughing when I get in the water. Not in the kayak, I mean, not in the water.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how deep this is going to be.
Why don't you get in? I'll pass you the pots.
Yeah, because that edge goes straight down.
Good boy. That was a fair dinkum mission, that. Steep banks, wet, muddy, slippery, nothing to hang on to. Maybe we put a couple of pegs here, like we did last time, and then that could be like a little thing.
Not real prepared. There we go. All right.
Ah, you're off. Whew. Hopefully all this effort will lead to
pay off into some yabbies.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go and get us some yabbies. Try
so
over
how
this.
deep is it there? Oh, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
I know.
A little bit cool in the shade with the wind blowing. It's no wind down here, so it's a fair bit warmer. Who would have thought only a week ago we're in the middle of a heat wave. Going in. On the other end of my rope here. Okay, that's one. We'll just run a couple down along this edge till we work out where they are. Still a fair bit of current. So when we go for a paddle later, we'll go upstream first and just float back down. Three down, one to go. A lot of junk in the creek down there from the floods. So. And there we go.
Alright, that's the pots in. Now we've got to paddle against the current to get back. Ooh, bit of breeze. We've got to find somewhere to get out. It is nice on the water. I'm digging them toes in. Okay, we're out. Hello.
Wow. Made it.
That was a mission. You can see where the water's been running through here.
Yeah. Flat grass.
It's very wet and mushy underneath.
Oh, yeah.
Oh well. Oh,
Hopefully you catch something after all that effort.
hopefully. It's definitely easy to...
After all that effort in the kayak to get in with steep, wet, muddy, slippery banks, come back, setting up the fishing rods. Had 4 rods, set up 3 of them, just baiting the last one up. The first rod went off. This big fella here. Turns out he was a 70 centimetre big fat female carp. About a 10-minute fight in the river to get her out. A few attempts with the net, but we got her out. That was one of 4 fish that we got for the whole time we were there, with the dirty water in the river and the run after the floods. And then the wind come up, so we didn't do much fishing the last couple of days. This fella here was a good bit of fun, my personal best carp. They fight hard for what they are, and the terrible noxious fish to our waterways. Imagine what this big breeder will do. All those eggs, millions more carp to go free in the waterways and eat all the native, either the fingerlings or the eggs, whatever they do to affect the waterways, plus they just hoover the mud and stir up the waterways itself, so it turns it to that murky chocolate colour. Not that this was from the carp themselves, this is more from the flood waters, but I have seen it where they stir up the water. They do make a mess. Fortunately, the microphone didn't work on the camera at the time, so finally got this big fella out. Took some lifting, I reckon 8 to 10 pound in the old scale. Good bit of fun.
Okay, it's time for a fire. Things are cooling down a bit in the afternoon. So, quickly show you, when you show up to a campsite, you get people's leftovers, empty cans, bits of wire and stuff in their fire. Make sure you always clean up after yourself and get rid of that in the bin. Take it home with you, put it in the bin. You always want to look after the properties where you go camping. But just a quick one, show you our fire pit. Done a video on the bag before to store it all, which is great. It keeps everything neat and secure. But now it's the other end of it where we want to make the fire. Get the fire going before it gets too cold. We've got the two sides, a couple of bars for the top in case you want to sit your camp oven on it. Base plates and stuff. Probably a little bit rusty at this myself, I haven't done it for a couple of weeks. This is the grill's flat pack fire pit. Slot that into there. The other end on. The other end. Just slip straight in. Like that. Slip the other side in. They're a little bit wonky to put together, especially once they've been used a few times and everything gets hot and cold and hot and cold. But basically, that's it. Stick it on the base plate. You can light your fire. Stick your barbie plate on top. And there you go. That's the grill's flat pack fire pit. With me being a little bit uncoordinated, still probably put it together in a minute and a half, 2 minutes. So we love it. It's portable, packs up to nothing, and you can cook on it as well. So there you go, grill's fire pit. And just like that, 3 minutes later, the grill's flat pack fire pit. Fire's burning. Thanks to my darling wife-to-be. Sitting around the fire having a beer. Life's good. Hey guys, day 2 out here at the Condamine River caravan and camping out near Warwick. Not the nicest of days today, you can see the clouds in the background. So we're just sitting around the fire, doing a little bit of camp oven cooking. And hopefully it clears a little bit later on, we can get down the river for a kayak and a bit more fishing. Hopefully catch a few more carp, or maybe that illustrious yellow belly. Anyway, we'll just pop the lid on this camp oven. It's a bit hard to cook when it's so windy. Now if you can see that in the little grill's fire pit. Come over this side out of the wind a little bit. It's blowing a gale this morning. Hopefully you can hear me alright. Got the camp oven just sitting on top of it. It's edible. I've done better, but that's alright. Hard to cook with the wood that we've got. In the wind, possibly showers later on, and forecast of a storm, so just have to ride that one out. Maybe sit in the van and watch a bit of telly or play some games, see if I can beat Mandy on Connect 4. No? No. He is pretty good at it. Anyway, we might tuck into these buns. We are going to call them, they were going to be Southern Cross buns, but they're more like mini fruit dampers. So get the butter out of the fridge, make a coffee and sit back and relax and hook into these. Catch us later. Hello.
Hello. Okay.
With all the wind blowing, I think it was about this time of the day I was starting to get a bit bored. Thought I'd try my hand at a bit of creative photography videoing. And this was the outcome. I'll leave that one with you. There's something I've always wanted to do since I was a kid. Seen it on TV. Everyone's probably seen it and can remember it. Is the solo man riding his kayak off of the cliff. So I thought, yeah, might give this a go. Surely it can't be that hard. Only my cliff was about a foot off the water. And as I went in, the nose went straight under and the kayak filled up with water and I was wet to the belly button. I've done that now. I can say I've done it. And yes, I won't be trying that again. But storms were starting to roll in, so I had to get out, grab the pots out of the river, just in case it flooded again that night. And lucky I did, because the next morning after the storms and 50 odd mil of rain, it was up about 2 or 3 foot higher than what it was at this point in time. So a bit of a rush to get everything out before the storms hit. Did get a few shrimps out of the creek, not a lot of yabbies, no big yabbies, not big enough for eating, but quite a few shrimps there, and would have been plenty of bait. If the weather had played the game, we would have been right for bait. Good sized shrimps. We were going to have a reef and beef for dinner that night, bit of steak on the barbie and some cooked up shrimps. But the storms put an end to that and put an end to our fire, so that's why we ended up in the van cooking dinner.
Just a bit of footage of post-storm. Just got smashed. The last couple of hours, heavy rain, not too much wind, but there was water laying around everywhere. And it was too wet to come out and get any footage of it. So, how much of this you'll see in the dark, just on dark, but there's water laying everywhere. We survived, lots of other camps around. Everyone looks like they've survived. Yes, very wet. But that's all part of the adventure. And here at Brandyscape Adventures, we don't let a bit of rain scare us. Still quite a few dark, stormy looking clouds up in the sky, which we may even get a bit more. If there was going to be a sunset, it would have been over there. That's as good as it gets today. Anyway, we'll leave it at that for today. Tomorrow's supposed to be fine. Catch us up then. So when you have a pesky fly in the caravan, this is what happens to you with the electrified tennis racket. Where is he? Come on. Come on. Over there. Oh.
Right.
Yeah. Where'd he go? Here it comes again. Round 2.
Hey.
Round 2 of the storms. Hey guys, 50 mil of rain there at the campsite on the river last night, and everything's pretty wet out in black soil country, as you can imagine. So we're going to head into town and have a look around. It's very, very windy today, so no fishing in the wind, plus the river's up probably about 2 foot from where it was yesterday after that rain. So We're going to head into town for a few hours and have a look around, stock up on water and see the local tourist attractions in Warwick. We'll catch us in town. One of the things I wanted to stop in and have a look at while we're in Warwick is the go-kart track at the Warwick Kart Club out at Sandy Creek. Raced there myself back in the 90s. Quite a few races, so it's good to get back there and have a quick look and see the karts going around. Quicker than back in my day. They still look like fun. This is right next door to the best country pub I reckon you'll find just about anywhere, the Sandy Creek pub. Good meals, nice cold beer, no time to stop in this time, but it gives us an excuse to go back again one day soon. While we're in Warwick, went and topped up with water. I'll just quickly show you how we transfer water back to the caravan. Got a 100 litre water bladder in the back of the ute there. Got a 75 litre under tray tank, so we carry about 170 litres of water, which fills up both our tanks in the caravan, so we get about another 4 to 5 days out of that if we're conserving water. But I love these water fill stations. This one here is sort of on the western side of Warwick. There is another one out at Killarney, but it wasn't operational when we were out there on the previous trip at Christmas time. But it costs you $1 for about 170 litres of water. Pretty easy to use, just swipe your card. You do need a fitting to connect your hose on that. It's that time of the day we've finally got to my favourite tourist attraction in Warwick. Been around everywhere this morning, seen the markets in town, done the shopping centre over. Glad to get out of there and get to my favourite part of the day trip into Warwick. I'll just show you what this attraction's all about. See that there? My favourite time of the day. Woo! Anyway, that's enough of me talking about it. Now I've got to go and do it. So we got back to camp that afternoon after being in Warwick for a good few hours. Even though the river was still up, I was wanting to get up the river about 500 metres and have a look at this weir. It's just a natural sort of rock bar weir forms across there. Holds some water back from the upstream side of that, but due to the rain it was running over well and through it. A lot of run coming over those rocks there. A lot of current. Just there where I paddled up to, I wasn't going to get any closer than that. It was a hard paddle upstream, but now all I've got to do is coast back to camp. Got the camp oven on again. Cooking some hot cross buns this time, first attempt. So they should be done by now. Just going to pop the lid off and see how they come up. I'll turn the camera around so you can see. It's rubbish. Straight off the fire. Hopefully they're alright. Oh yeah, look at that. They're as good as bought ones. Oh well. I think best we go and put the kettle on again and get stuck into some hot cross buns. So just a quick fast forwarded look at the other campgrounds around this property. It is a fairly big property with quite a few hundred metres or kilometres of campgrounds on the banks of the Condamine River. Just a quick look around. It was fairly wet, so we didn't want to go driving anywhere where we possibly get stuck or make a mess of the owner's tracks and that type of thing. So just a quick look around in these grassy areas. This is only a few of them. And a few drone photos at the end showing sort of aerial photos where there's campgrounds scattered everywhere across the property. There is other campgrounds as well up off of the river and the flats. But overall, plenty of space, privacy between the sites. You're not jammed in like sardines like some campgrounds are. And quite comfortable. If the wind wasn't blowing, as you can see the trees moving, it would be a magical place when the weather's good. As you know, Warwick does get cold in the winter time and plenty of ice on the ground. So you've got to be prepared for that. But overall, magic place, this property. Morning guys. Oh, it's Monday morning after the Easter long weekend. 4 days away out here on the Condamine River caravan and camping. It's been great, apart from the wind and the storms. Everything's starting to dry out quite nice, and today is just a beautiful, glorious day. Everyone's starting to pack up, getting ready to head home. And we will be too very shortly, unfortunately, but it only takes us an hour to pack up, hitch up, and we're on the road. Just like to thank yous for watching this episode, and we will be seeing yous again very shortly. We've got another trip coming up in a couple of weeks. A bit of a family fishing competition weekend, so it'll be good to have all my family together. A little place out near Bay Desert. We'll get out there and hopefully catch some fish. We didn't do real good on the fishing this time around. With the wind blowing 30 to 40 knots, the river running pretty hard after the rain the other night, and just the cooler temperatures, I think. Which, speaking of cool, it was down to 5 or 6 degrees here this morning, hence the beanie on the head and the extra jacket. So very fresh. But anyway, well, we've come to the end of another Brandyscape adventure out here on the Condamine caravan and camping on HIPCAMPs. I just want to say a quick thank you to the hosts, the owner Lindsay, and a couple of men that he's had running around for him on the weekend, John and Mark. Sensational job checking in on us and everyone else in the campground, making sure everything's right. Even had Mark come down and mow the grass for us the first afternoon, which you don't get that at every campground you go to. So highly recommend this place. We'll definitely be back in the years to come. Just need the weather to be a little bit better and enjoy a few relaxing days by the Condamine River. Thanks for watching. See you next time.